Hello, everyone. And today on Valley Strange, we're going to be going over some strange news. There's a lot of things going on, such as UFOs in the skies, military shooting them down, uh, possible UFO insurance, and Satanic Panic still running amok in 2023. And here we go. Hello, Roland. How you doing?
Ah,
I'm glad you're promoting Valley Strange with your shirt there, which you can purchase on Teespring, by the way.
what if you want
Shirts are
this?
available. Link will be in the description, as well as all the article links will be in the description below if you want to follow along. So you can read them yourselves and prove we're not just making stuff up, but we may be relaying some messages that may be just fake shit onto you. So you can just double check that. You can, and if anything is out of the ordinary or anything is made up, you can always comment below and let us know what's going on.
Come at me, nerds. Mm,
Yes,
mm.
nerd out and tell us what we did wrong,
Your
or
corrections give me strength.
maybe what misinformation we have put out into the world. It's not going to hurt our feelings. It just makes us better, right? Ideally.
Yeah.
So first on the list here, we're going to go over an article that says 20 weird UFO facts that will leave you scratching your head.
27. Yep.
27. Did I say 20?
I think you cut
I
out
don't
a
know.
bit.
I
That's
may,
all.
I may have said something like that, but anyways.
Yeah.
UFO facts, and we talk a lot about UFOs and the background of UFOs in Valley Strange, and we've gone over a few books that kind of go into detail on a bit of the alleged history
Mhm.
of UFOs, and those books would be 12 Planet from Zachariah Stitchin and Gods of Eden from William Bramley, and there's many of them out there since the 70s, the 80s, 90s, and sooner in the near future we'll be going over some other UFO conspiracy related books as well. But for now, UFO facts that will leave you scratching your head. So we're not going to go over all of them. We're just going to go over a few of them that are just highlighted. I'll put that there. Maybe work. Okay. So the term UFO was first used in 1947. I think that was just after the Roswell crash, right? Somewhere around there.
Mhm.
I'm not even sure like exactly when the Roswell crash happened at this point. It's just kind of a thing that happened at some point in the past, allegedly.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. Roland, was there anyone here like that kind of caught your eye that maybe you weren't aware of or that might be useful to relate
Uh,
to here?
I mean, not quite. I was zipping through this earlier this morning, and like some of these were just amusing. Thousands of like some of this even one of these even references another article that we're going to look through. I do
Mhm.
like the study of
I'll save that towards the end for that one. Yeah.
I do like the study of what they consider to be the official science of extraterrestrial life,
Mhm.
astrobiology. I think I've heard of was it xenogeology, which is I want to say the study of other planets, rock
Is it
systems.
Dino or that was like exogeology?
It might be one of those. I don't fucking remember. It's just anyway. So yeah, this was cool though. The little astrobiology. I thought that was cute.
One day that might be an official uh like program at a school or something. That's something whenever disclosure does happen officially, and we have alien bodies to dissect like they're fucking frogs. One of the
uh,
ones I did find interesting here was
mhm.
it's not necessarily a out of the ordinary, but it's one thing that gets confused a lot whenever we or things get reported in the skies by people is that UFO is not the same as extraterrestrial alien.
Right.
So there's a lot of association, especially right now with a lot of things that were going on in the news of the military like shooting down these unidentified objects. I will say like there's times where I want to jump to the conclusion that it is an alien, some kind of extraterrestrial, but I mean it could be just some kind of a military It's maybe a secret military
More often
vehicle.
than not, that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
going on the side of.
that's a secret military vehicle that they don't want to disclose. Therefore, they just call it unidentified. But then you kind of leave the whole population just speculating the whole time.
What could it be? Yeah,
What
exactly, but that's
could it
how the
be?
counterintelligence works as well, so
Or it could be one of those nope creatures, like that turns all Lovecraftian at some point.
oh, the giant cosmic, flying kite.
Yes. Mhm.
Never know. Could get you.
Let me see. There's one here that said that UFO in Los Angeles caused 5 deaths in 1945. Now, let's read on to, like, see what that actually means. So
Yeah.
shortly after the US joined World War II, there was an air attack over Los Angeles, which they call the Battle of Los Angeles, after an unidentified flying object was seen. And at the time, newspapers published a number of reports and speculations of a cover-up to conceal an actual invasion by enemy airplanes.
Mhm.
When documenting the incident, the United States Coast Artillery Association identified a weather balloon, typical, as the cause of the hysteria. And they concluded that once the firing started, imagination created all kinds of targets in the sky, and everyone joined in because of the chaos. 3 people
'Cause
died in car
everybody
accidents.
over there has guns.
Well, they died of car accidents, 2 died, and 2 died of heart attacks. So not deliberately or directly related to a UFO or some kind of I mean, imagine they're up in the sky, they hear all these gunshots, they're freaking out. They die of heart attack, lame, lame. And people who weren't paying attention in the road died in car accidents.
I mean,
But there's a picture out there. I don't know how legit it is of a bunch of like tanks like firing to the sky, and there's like a light shine, and you see like what looks like a UFO in the sky.
mm,
But a lot of people say that they saw a UFO. But I mean, like you would think like the military, the folks on the ground would know or
a
be able
little
to
more
tell
about
something
it.
in the sky, and they're shooting at it. Like I don't know how. I mean, that they're not going to know what they might be shooting
I
at.
mean, yeah, there's nothing to say that they're just not gonna flat out lie to us. Why would the military and the
Obviously.
government ever do that?
It's not like they're doing it right now or anything, no.
No.
Mhm, no, never, never.
How dare you? Sounds like traitorous slender.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course. And one little another fact here or that, I wanna dive into a little bit more later on, not in this episode, but then in a future episode, it says numerous scientists stationed in Antarctica have seen UFOs. And I believe that was Operation High Jump was something related to that, where some military, I forget the name of the person, they went to Antarctica and then they found like an entrance in Antarctica, like to an underground city
Oh, you mean the
for
plot
UFOs.
for, Aliens versus Predator?
Basically, yeah, yeah. I mean, you say it like that, Roland, and it sounds silly, for God's sakes.
Oops. I was being totally serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I know you are.
Was the
'Cause
scientist okay, here's another quick was the scientist by any chance named R.J. MacReady?
and did he look kinda like Kurt Russell? No, who knows?
Right?
Uh,
Just says in there, "Scientist R.J. MacReady, description, mega hot." There we go.
mega hot. Um,
It's Kurt Russell!
it's Kurt
Oh my
Russell.
god.
Oh my
So
god.
cute.
Could you imagine if someone went to Antarctica and there was like a doppelganger of Kurt Russell in an underground city? What would you think,
Yeah,
man?
I would be like, "Fuck yeah." Wait, could I switch with him? Because then he could come and get a job for me and, like, pay all my bills, and I could just disappear. Wait.
But mind you, you're in a constant state of
Oh, pants
war,
are shitty, terror.
top secret activities. Hey,
Yeah,
sounds fun. Huh?
I don't think
Sounds
I'd make
fun.
it as a spy.
Yeah, that take
Pretty sure I'd
effort.
yeah, exactly. See, there you go. It's my allergies again. I don't wanna use that word. We shouldn't
Should not use that word.
rule. We should make a rule or something. You gotta warn me. Look at this. Look at that. Is
And
that
just like
is that sweat? What you
yeah,
did?
yeah, get it rid of it. You're gonna get sick.
Damn it,
Don't
right
do it.
there. My health, man. Ugh.
One of the this is not necessarily a fact that or it's a fact that everyone probably should know because it's been in the news plenty of times, but I'm assuming people now kind of just forgot,
Mhm.
maybe, possibly, that the anticipation of a UFO sighting caused a mass suicide. Heaven's Gate, the cult,
Yep.
they drank a mixture of lethal mixture of like just Kool-Aid, pretty much did like a whole
Delicious
Jim
Kool-Aid.
Jones kind of thing,
Just mix
and they
it
killed
together.
themselves wearing only the finest Nikes. Nike Hero.
Like, wouldn't that be funny? Like, they all went out with Jordans.
Yeah, no, they didn't get that cool, dude.
No, fuck no, they're not cool. Absolutely not.
Um, they were pretty much like
Imagine how much money those shoes would be worth now.
those right. These are the Nikes worn by the mass suicide group Heaven's Gate.
By those dorky ass cult mofos. Yeah.
And they have gone up in price.
Yep, there we go. Limited time supply.
We'll talk about this one in a second, but thousands of Americans have taken out insurance against aliens, and we'll get to that in a minute. Is there
That is
another
funny
one
though.
here, Roland?
I mean, of interest that we don't already know maybe, or of interest to our listeners. Like
Not
most
much
of
for
this
our
stuff.
listeners, really. I mean,
Oh well,
a lot of stuff we do
yeah.
know.
A lot of this we've already spoken about, like how ancient Roman scholars wrote about strange aerial sightings. Like you said, thousands of Americans taking out insurance claims against aliens. Uh,
Now, if you
UAPs. Yeah.
on July 2nd, it's World UFO Day.
Hmm.
So if you ever want to celebrate or just acknowledge the fact that there are UFOs in the sky, there's a lot of things we don't know what they are. Not necessarily aliens, but
What it could
just
be.
celebrate those unidentified objects flying over your head. July 2nd, you can celebrate, have a drink on for the unidentified. Um,
Let's see.
yeah, there's
Just
not much here like that you can read yourself.
they go over all of the standard stuff. The military's made reporting since
Mhm.
before you and I were born. I do like the black triangle UFOs because those are kind of snazzy. Fancy.
Yeah,
Ooh, what?
I don't know if this is related to that, but I
Mhm.
remember sometime in March, like back in the 90s when it was those was it the Arizona lights or the New Mexico lights? The ones that look like a triangle?
Oh, I think it
I
was.
remember it was on the news. They were like playing the video like and like you see these things kind of light up in the sky, kind of like in a triangle formation.
Yep.
And of course the military said they were flares that never came down apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the Phoenix lights,
The Phoenix lights, there you go. That's the one.
sometimes called lights over Phoenix. Yep, series of
Mhm.
widespread unidentified flight object sightings observed in the skies over the southwestern United States and Nevada on March 13th, 1997.
19 what day was it again? March what?
13th.
13th. Every time when that happened, I thought it was like a sign for me because that's when I was like heavily into church and stuff.
Yeah,
So
huh?
like I took a lot of things as end of the world, rapturous, doomsday,
So you
apocalypse
were
type of signs. March 13th is the day before my birthday, so I was just like, this was meant for me. Like
the
uh,
happy
at, at
little
that
boy of 13 getting raptured.
at that moment, I could have easily become the next Marshall Applewhite. It could have been Valleygate.
Ah, uh,
But unbeknownst to me, in West Dakota, there was already a UFO cult, the Time Arc people. Um,
yep. I pass by him every day. I go out there to watch to go buy my groceries.
if at any point anybody listening wants us to do a deeper dive into the UFO cult, because on our very first episode of Valley Strange, we did touch upon it. We kind of went through their website, kind of what they believe. If you want a deeper dive, let us know, and we'll do that one.
Oh, write him a fucking letter. Send it out to him and shit.
We will try and contact. There's been many times during Valley Strange episodes, or even like in the background, just discussing next episodes, future episodes, things like that, to contact them and see if they will maybe do an interview with us or something.
Or
Whether they're because
hear from
the head,
him.
the head guy is not alive anymore, obviously. But
Nope, he's probably
I don't know who's running. I don't know who's running the thing now, so
Mhm.
we can attempt to speak with them. Can't hurt. You know, they'll just say no. Tell us to
Like,
fuck off. One of those.
cable guy.
Yeah, that's gonna be us in the fucking peephole. Yeah, let's be really welcoming.
Or it could just
So the next thing we want to go through, which was touched upon, one of
Mhm.
these facts was the alien insurance,
Yeah.
and which apparently is a thing now. This is an article from is it Leader's Edge?
Uh,
Leader's Edge. So it says again, you'll have the link in the description below. And it was an article from October 14th, 2021. But I just thought it was funny because they brought it up in this list here, and I thought I didn't know anything about this.
yeah,
So
no, me
I'm
neither. I thought it was
assuming most of everyone out there doesn't know anything about this, or at least the people who listen to our show
mhm.
here. So we're just gonna read through this, and so you can get the idea because this person who's doing the article spoke to a spoke to an insurance agent who actually started this insurance type of insurance.
Yeah, like, he wrote up the premium or the rules for it in, like, 15 minutes or some such, I think.
Yeah, and it's hilarious who and what inspired him to do so. And it's he mentions a person that we've discussed and a book that became very
Mhm.
popular. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So in this article, it does say back in 2019, we spoke with commercial insurance brokers on protecting haunted house attractions. That's hilarious. Do you think Zach Baggins has haunted house insurance on his
I hope
place there?
so. He is a man of the world, Mr. Baggins.
Yes, he is. He is. Last year, we interviewed a paranormal investigator and learned about the lack of coverage options American ghost detectives have to protect against agitated spirits. Not to be outdone, but this year we're bringing you an even more niche coverage. In fact, this policy's risks are not of this world. Very nice. I would like to go further into that ghost detectives insurance. What are the policies? What does that cover?
Oh, sure.
So Mike St. Lawrence has been selling alien abduction insurance for 34 years. And you read that right. The 73-year-old who lives in Altamont Springs, Florida, just outside of Orlando, walks a thin line between humor and conspiracy while selling his $10 million alien abduction insurance policy for one simple payment of, you heard it here first folks, $24.95. That's $24.95. That's a one-time payment for this insurance. I almost wanna get this insurance just, to cover myself. And maybe I get some kind of policy that I can, frame and stuff. So
Maybe we'll need it.
whenever I do get abducted by an alien, we can kinda collect. Since the
Right.
spirit moved
I'll collect for you. It's alright. Just make
you
sure you
can
put me on there as
collect the dollar that they're gonna give you.
a benefactor.
Okay, since the spirit moved us, we called Mr. St. Lawrence to ask him a few questions about what models he uses to calculate his policy's premium, how many claims he has filed or filled, and if he has ever been to the secret Nevada base known as Area 51. So, Roland, we can do this mock interview thing here. Do you want to take the policy maker or the
Yeah,
interviewer?
I'll read the policies.
Okay, so I'll be asking the questions and we're going to role play here. So, tell us about alien abduction insurance.
It's $1 a year for 10 million years. Very simple, huh? And that's how we get around the underwriting thing, because it's clear that that's preposterous. For people in the insurance industry, this is like an inside joke to them. And a lot of people who've purchased this over the years have been people in the insurance business.
And how did you get into the insurance business?
We started in 1987. I need more gums, less crotchety in that voice. I was watching a CNN interview with a guy named Whitley Strieber,
There it is, folks. The man of the
who
hour.
wrote a best-selling book back then called Communion.
Episode 8 of LA Strange. Go take a listen.
I wasn't really paying attention to UFOs or alien abductions and didn't really follow that stuff until I heard that interview. Within 15 minutes, I wrote the outline of the coverages that I was going to do, and I barely changed them until about 5 years ago when I added stuff about quantum physics. About a year before that, I was selling $10 million dollar reincarnation insurance, and I'd been selling it by doing radio interviews around the country.
This is fascinating. That I mean, can anybody just write a policy out, assuming you're an insurance agent?
I mean, I would actually,
You could sell insurance for
I would
pretty
say
anything,
no.
can't you?
I would say no because I would just assume that that entire industry has some form of regulation or regulatory like certifications or whatever.
Yeah.
If not, then obviously there's a big fucking problem. No, I don't know. Maybe you could actually. We can answer that some of that with the next question.
Are you a licensed carrier or broker?
No, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying right there. Like,
Yep. I used to work for an airline called Eastern Airlines flying from Atlanta. Like, what? I was like a public relations slash salesperson on board the airplane trying to generate revenue and field questions from people. That role pretty much fit me like a glove because I've never met a stranger in my life. But after 2 years, they discontinued the program. Anyway, I wasn't that great at sales, but I was great at entertaining people. After that, I had a job with Liberty Mutual Insurance Company selling real insurance. And that's how I got to know about how to write an insurance policy. So, why did he tell us that extra bit instead of just saying that he worked for Liberty Mutual?
I don't know. I mean,
Was it just because he started writing it before he was a broker? So he was like an aspiring insurance guy at the time?
I don't know how like this works.
I don't quite follow his little timeline, but whatever. Hey.
Uh, so has selling alien abduction insurance changed your outlook on life?
Oh boy, howdy. I'm kind of a smartass, okay? I mean, I'm clever enough to do this, but I kind of warn parents not to let your kids grow up to be wise like me. Because I didn't take into consideration the people that actually had the abduction experience. I thought it was preposterous at first, and then as I got to meet people over the years, I started transitioning to being a believer about what they were saying.
Interesting.
So he started this out
As a beef?
as yeah, as a
I don't watch
you.
a David Icke or Alex Jones broadcast in its
I tried.
entirety, or and not even them specifically, but their TV people like
Oh yeah, yeah,
Infowars and stuff. And I'm curious, are do they have commercials for this kind of stuff on their shit?
Are they selling alien abduction supplements?
Supplements are, yeah, alien abduction, snake oil insurance, like whatever the fuck that is. But I have a feeling that they're not above doing a commercial for this kind of insurance. If they're gonna take a percentage of that 24.95,
Yeah, sure.
maybe this guy can sponsor us, and and we can do a commercial for alien abduction
I was
insurance,
about to say, like, hey, maybe if they got some money to waste,
right? We
what do
get
you
a
got to lose
we get a cut of that 24.95.
other than the money? Yeah, that's right. So, all right. Next question.
Okay.
It's more of a paragraph, but
Yes. Um, this past year, the U.S. government released several videos of footage captured by Navy fighter jets, which displays unidentified flying objects in the air.
this past
I,
year of 2021, just to remind
yes,
everybody.
21. Yes, not this year. Pilots who captured the footage were at a loss when it came to determining what these objects were. A subsequent government report on these aerial phenomenon found no proof of extraterrestrial activity. And what is your take on these events? And do these sightings influence the insurance you sell?
That Pentagon report was nonsense. It was just a public relations campaign. They didn't investigate the way it should have been. It's a quantum physics situation. That's what's going on. That's why, in most cases, there's no tangible evidence to prove the UFO thing. Right, because quantum, duh, right?
Says your $10 million alien abduction insurance policy sells for one simple premium payment of $24.95. Insurance carriers generally use historical data to predict risk outcomes. What models do you use to calculate the cost of the coverage you sell? Sell.
We started out with it being $9.95 in 1987, and then we increased it to $14.95. I learned through marketing that if you price it too inexpensive, then people don't think it's worth anything. You have to be selling it for at least $19.95 for people to take it seriously. Where the fuck are they getting this?
That's just I think that's just years of selling insurance or just doing business and sales.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
I think if
swindling
you're just you have to
people.
do like you know how people complain about that 95 that
Yeah.
why the 95 cents? If you do that, do you think people might be able to take it seriously? Or like if you go 19.99 and you too can get it premium alien abduction insurance for under $20 and it's just like a penny, you know?
Right, right. Wait. They said 1990. I'm not interested. If it's
Yeah,
1990 or 1995.
1990.
There are no other.
That seems highly suspicious.
Exactly. I will
$19.90?
not be taking this
Hmm.
seriously. You, sir, have lost yourself a potential purchase. Hmm.
Now, how many clients have purchased your alien abduction insurance policy?
We're approaching 7,000 policyholders. God,
Man, it's gonna be
I don't
7,001 when I'm done.
I don't wanna do the math. I do not wanna do the math. Fucking
Of
hell.
how much money he just made from 24.95? Yeah, dude. Dude,
God.
we need to make a cryptid law, like, insurance policy, you know?
Yeah.
Don't take it. You heard it here. Don't take this idea. We're gonna
Mm-mm.
have cryptid insurance, alright? In case you get
Our specialists.
unless you get,
Unless you,
attacked by a lechuza, a chupacabra, a duende, maybe has, like, duende homeowners insurance or duendes theft owners insurance. You know duendes are stealing shit, right? If they
mhm,
a duende steals something, you
your
can file a
stocks,
claim, get your money, you know?
you lose pocket change. Oh, yeah, they get into all your shit.
Mhm.
Yep. So,
Now,
as the only and premier,
yeah.
cryptid law specialists, we are here to help you.
Yeah. And, just to move along with this particular article, uh, the claims that he's settled over this past or since he started doing this was only 2,
Yeah.
and I think they've had to pay out on those. Uh, one of them was a cab driver from New York, and it told him a story, and they pay $1 a year for
A
10
year
million
for 10
years.
million years. That's the payout. That's the
That's the
settlement.
pay Yes, $1 a year for 10 million years. And if you think about it, what is this? This is chump change. This is nothing like, yeah, you go, yeah, I'll pay you out your insurance because you've been abducted. Here's your dollar for the year
The rest of your fucking
2023.
life. Congratulations.
You're like, you go, man, I'm still living off that abduction insurance,
Right,
man.
yeah, I got that interest.
I got a couple years ahead of me to keep that keeps on rolling in.
I put that dollar in a certificate of deposit, and I sat on it for 100 years.
You know what my question is, which they didn't really get into in this article, was if they have a beneficiary, does the
Yeah,
beneficiary get
I would
more?
think no,
And does the beneficiary like, does that trickle down to the next person?
they would probably have to pay for their own
10
policy,
million years, right?
unless,
10 million
well,
years.
like, unless it's okay, the payout, yes, I think that is supposed to follow them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about
Somebody in
insurance.
that guy's family, or rather, that guy's family is set for $1 for the rest of eternity.
Yeah,
Hmm,
the whole family's got a couple dollars
yeah,
after their lifespan.
they just gotta hold on to it. They just gotta survive long enough to enjoy it.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Mm,
But it goes on just to entertain some more, things about the actual person who wrote the policy. But yeah, alien insurance, you too can be covered.
mhm. I mean, the guy's got a website, you can go check it out and, I don't know, register. Um, it says here that he sells a monolith. I'm not sure what he's referring to. If you know somebody that's in a sci-fi UFO or anything, alien abductions, you can buy a policy for them. You can also buy the monolith, and I'm just coming out with a 7-foot high model. He's trying to keep it under $500. There are price points around for $30 for a desktop version too.
Yeah. Pretty
So I
wild.
guess it's just like a little tower thing.
It is pretty wild.
And as it turns out, he has been to Area 51 for his 50th anniversary. He probably walked up to the gates or drove through Roswell or something.
It's probably nothing that exciting. So,
No, I mean, it's a cool place to visit ish.
all right, we're gonna move on to our next article.
Mm-hmm.
It's the UFO sighting in Quebec. This was actually this year, February 21st, a few days ago. They had a telepathic chat with Palladians.
Oh God,
Palladians.
I
Palladians.
saw this and I was like, this is such a Ray story. You're totally reading this one.
I am obviously I'm gonna read this one. And there's a video that shows uh some footage allegedly.
Of the
So
Pleiadians?
of the actual thing,
Proof?
whatever it is. Whatever this thing is.
Oh, the Tic Tac.
Okay, so here's the article here. It says on the 10th of August 2022, a driver in I can't pronounce that, Quebec,
Something
Canada, witnessed a mysterious UFO in the sky, and the object was large and silvery white with some small darker vessels below it. And the driver was able to film the UFO, but the camera failed to capture the full extent of what the driver's eyes could see.
Oh no.
Isn't that just like camera,
Always,
right?
always. Those
Just like a camera.
those Wascoey cameras.
Yes, just like a camera. Can't even keep the batteries in.
Fail. What good are you?
Says the sighting was not just a random event, as another witness from a nearby town also saw the UFO and confirmed the presence of smaller vessels below the main one. However, what set this sighting apart from others was the fact that the driver claimed to have chatted telepathically with the UFO afterwards, and
With
it
his
identified itself as a Palladian spacecraft.
Whoa.
Whoa, my dude. Let's see here. Obviously, no one else heard this conversation. You
Nope,
have
because it was in his head. That's
yes.
right. That's how that shit happens. Sorry. It's an A
Then
brain
again,
brain
spoiled
combination.
again, you know.
That's right.
Says
So
the driver's telepathic chat. Let me be clear about that. Telepathic chat with the Palladian craft was an extraordinary event, but it raises a lot of questions. How did the driver know that the craft was a Palladian spaceship?
what kind of
Was the
drugs?
chat genuine, or was it just a figment of the driver's imagination? These are difficult questions to answer, and it's up to each person to decide what they believe. And despite the skepticism that some may have towards the driver's experience, it's worth noting that there have been many reports of people claiming to have had telepathic communications with extraterrestrial beings. In some
Man,
cases, these contacts have led to profound changes in people's lives, inspiring them to become more spiritual or pursue a deeper understanding of the universe. Now, we have a little video here that I'm going to play for you. So let's see if it works here. What do you think about that, Rowan?
it's amazing. My life, it's been completely changed. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself now.
Do you feel that you're being communicated to telepathically through this YouTube video?
Yes.
Now,
And
would you say that that below that you don't know if you saw that, like, was that like a tiny little spaceship underneath it?
underneath it,
Yeah. I mean, obviously they zoomed in a little too far, so they kind of lost the ship. But there it is. Like, you see something kind of like at the tail end of it.
mhm. I don't know. You can't hold the camera straight for shit, so ever. Nobody ever does, right?
Let's see here.
So this is wherein the telepathic chat occurred.
Allegedly, yes.
I don't know what this music is, but it sucks. But yeah.
Well, you're in Quebec, so I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't speak baguette.
Yeah. So it says, in any case, the sighting in Quebec is an exciting event and adds to the long list of mysterious and unexplained phenomena that continue to fascinate people around the world. Obviously, we're still talking about these kinds of things.
Well,
Um,
Are you a
Canadian,
believer in the Pleiades?
I don't know. I mean, we have discussed or used that book about alien
Mhm.
races, and there's a lot, and these are one of them.
Yeah.
To discuss what the Pleiades are, says they're also known as the Seven Sisters, a star cluster located in the Taurus constellation, and it has been the subject of much fascination for many years. And according to believers in the existence of extraterrestrial life, the Pleiadians are an advanced race of beings who have been visiting Earth for a long time, and they have said to be peaceful and benevolent, and have been working to help humanity in various ways.
Tall and
There's a book that we're gonna talk about. I don't recall where this it wasn't the star cluster or anything, but,
mhm,
Valiant Thor from The Stranger in the Pentagon
mhm.
is, from Venus, and he came to bring us a message, which, Roland, you'll probably find fascinating or not whenever we get to that book.
Yeah, I might
But,
not.
you I find it, um, odd that they allegedly had a conversation, but the person didn't divulge what there was that was
Yeah,
what
it's like, what about what? The weather? Like, what are you
you go, "Your Earth weather is quite magnificent."
it's just like the alien just, like, contacted him telepathically to tell him he was low on gas or some shit. He better go stop at a
This
gas
happens to
pump
be a
or
fucking mechanic, you know?
mhm. I don't know. I mean, could happen. We don't know. This motherfucker won't tell us so. Who knows? Moving
I
on.
had a sneeze, excuse me. So our next article that we're gonna discuss is one that's been happening, as of late, and we're gonna talk about it briefly, because it's all over the news, and you can decide, for yourself if this is real or if this is just what some are calling a distraction from a lot of things that are happening currently and not getting as much play on the news. So this is a U.S. military downs 4 unidentified flying objects. Officials do not dismiss possibility of extraterrestrial origin. Just like them to place like that, just like them.
Yeah.
So this article is from latest UFO sightings. It is also a website that you can visit. Again, links will be in the description of this episode. Roland, you've been watching the news lately or YouTube videos that discuss news related things. I don't watch the news.
Nah, yeah.
I'm not a CNN guy or a Fox News guy. I will
Yeah.
watch clips of their stuff, but I won't sit there and watch it because, they're all kind of biased.
I've really gotta see Rachel Maddow. Tucker Carlson just speaks to my heart. I don't know. Fuck.
I would like to see the person that really takes to heart what, like, Rachel Maddow, uh, Don Lemon,
I don't know.
or, Chuck
Jeez.
Schumer. Well, not Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, the fucking
Yeah, he's a politician.
politician.
I mean, I'd still
But, like, Tucker Carlson and, like, Sean Hannity, like,
yeah, yeah,
they
those
look
bunch
at
of
they watch
Laura
both,
Ingraham or whatever.
they equally watch both these news
The View.
or The View, and takes all and, like, really, like, tries to analyze what they're saying, and, like, they're all full of shit, all of them.
Oh, absolutely.
They're all
They're
full of shit. Um, but
fucking
yeah, so I watch a lot of commentary on that, and as many people know that this has been getting a lot of play on the news.
yeah, yeah, like the White House and the military won't shut the hell up about it. It being nothing but something, but we don't know or we can't actually say, but it's really nothing. So,
Yeah. Um,
we shut them down.
yeah, and they made claim that the first one was a balloon from
Mhm.
like a spy balloon from China,
Something like that.
something to that effect. And then there was like these other ones that they shot over, like
They
was
were
it
just privately
Alaska?
owned. Yeah, it was
Uh,
like over Alaska, over was it uh between Alaska and Japan or something, some such.
and mind you, they're ever since like those videos came out with those the Navy kind of expressing or validating the fact that they are unidentified objects that they saw
Right, since they
while they were
released
flying
like
around. That the government now, at least the US government, is a little bit more lax on the fact that, like, "Hey, it could be that now," but that just even seems more suspicious because you think they're just fooling, What are
They
you
are.
trying to hide?
What are you
You know?
fuckers doing? Yeah, exactly.
And I know it just so happens that we've had those trail derailments kind of like in the same thing. Not like I'm not saying that anything these things aren't associated in any way, but like there's a lot of speculation going on amongst people. If you think on TikTok, YouTube and stuff, where they're associating it with like the fact that they're causing all this like everybody look up to the sky and look at all these things that are going on when we have
And
that environmental disaster going on in fucking Ohio. And there's another trail derailment. I think it was in Texas, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. That
I don't
happened.
know how bad that was, but I know the one over there was pretty
There
bad.
was one that happened, a few years ago, actually. It was pretty bad.
Well, there have been like lots of trail derailments going on, but none of them
Yep.
necessarily having this effect on the community around it.
No. There are exceptions, obviously, but yeah,
Mm.
more often than not, it's not a big deal. Well, like, for
I mean,
people
it
around
is
them.
a big deal, but like it's not again, it's not affecting a surrounding community to this effect.
Right, yeah. Like this, where the fucking thing turns into a World War II gas.
Yeah, dogs, animals are dying,
Oh, yeah, it's
marine life
contaminated
are dying,
everything. The
people are having like
people are
they're
getting
hard to
sick.
breathe, they're having like skin irritation, like all that kind of shit. And you
You
think
know?
that the government being a little bit more lax on their, divulging of like, "Oh, yeah, it's unidentified, we don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
maybe it's aliens, who knows?" That's not out of the question, you know? But,
I
there's
mean,
also the fact that
they blew up the railroad, so
um, there have, the other thing that was going on again, which people are starting to make, like, these points to where these distractions are happening allegedly, and
mhm.
we're talking about this
Okay,
more
so yeah.
as we're talking about this more as a loose kind of conspiracy going on at the moment right now, because that the Jeffrey Epstein, uh,
Oh,
files were, like, loose, and they're supposedly gonna release the list of names of those who went to the island, and they're trying to, like, distract from that, like, "Don't look at that stuff." But, I mean, again, this is a conspiracy that's kind of, like,
oh,
making the waves around the internet right now.
good luck with that. Like, the uh, if you put a list on the internet, we'll find it.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to make it, like, public, allegedly. They did release the 2,045-page transcript of the Ghislaine Maxwell court case, I believe.
Oh, Lois Lane's yeek.
Ghislaine.
Nobody wants to read that shit. That bleh.
Um, I don't know if they have, like, a list in there, but or, like, some kind of, like, names were dropped or something.
Mhm.
'Cause I don't know, like, the details of the case.
Yeah, I only paid attention a little bit to that when I was just like, "Yep, gross, peace."
But there's like I said, there's a lot of things making their ways around the internet right now regarding the fact that the government's doing this when they're always been very secretive before about all this kinds of stuff. And now they're kind of like, "Oh, yeah, maybe," but why are they doing that, right?
Yeah, they're being
Why?
very freaking it's very strange.
I go, "There better be fucking aliens up in those goddamn ships, you motherfuckers," but who knows? I mean, it'd be pretty badass. I mean, it does cause a sense of excitement in, like, I guess,
Yeah,
you know, someone
it's
like myself who I'm a little bit more I'm trying to be a bit more skeptical
you're
on these
like,
kinds of things, but I you want these kind of, like, alien, UFO disclosure things to happen that you just, like, kinda, like I'm, like, foaming at the mouth
waiting
for
for it.
kind of,
Yeah,
like, answer, you know?
you're I could picture you there sitting there at your couch watching TV and making these announcements,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my god, it's real
Eat
propaganda,
eat
yeah."
eating some hot Cheetos going, "They're gonna do it. They're gonna tell us everything." But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to bring that up and because I was wanting to look for it, but I couldn't find it, like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure MUFON has it as a list of sightings throughout this past year or this year, 2023, and
Oh,
I don't know if these are included in that, but I know there's people that always, like, divulge information, regarding, sightings that they've had of things in the sky,
yeah. Mhm.
and, I know MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, uh, does a pretty good job of kinda, like I and I say this, like, vetting these claims, But I mean, you're gonna take it like right.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Well,
stories.
yeah, you gotta do what you can, you know.
Yeah, not all. Can't catch them all.
Yeah. So, Roland, we talked about this one article not too long ago. Where we talked about strange news, which we haven't done in a while, and we kind of want to do it to keep people up to date, as well as myself, on
Yeah.
what's going on in the world of the strange, and that includes strange beliefs,
Mhm.
and that is gonna lead us into this article about this pastor who suffers multiple organ failure attempting Jesus's 40-day fast. And I think the last article that we did, like probably like a year ago, 2 years ago,
Yeah, just
had to
talking
do
about
with decapitations, right?
that monk,
Like,
yeah, that,
yeah,
did his thing or whatever and
and did his thing.
chopped his head off.
I was like, yeah, he just kind of did a thing, like,
Yeah, whatever, it's cool.
yeah.
He's old, nobody's gonna bother him.
And I will say that it's unfortunate that these things are still happening and people are inflicting this stuff on
I mean,
themselves.
yeah, like, you would this is kinda shit you would expect from, someone, like, more elderly. I don't know, it's not really
Well, how
something I
old? He was 39 years old?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy was 39, like, when I hear about people, like, trying some kind of, like, religious statement or something, like, it's usually someone that's, like, in their 50s or 60s sort of thing,
Right.
like, I'm not I don't generally hear about it from, younger folks because as it is, I don't know, I'd say most of us don't care, maybe.
Well, again, this is an article from odditycentral.com. This was
Mm,
written February 21st, 2023. And, as you know, I don't know if you're aware of this, Roland, from the Catholics in your life, but right now
mm.
is Lent season.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I saw some people with the little the other day,
You
and
know, it's funny you say that, not as much as I've seen the years prior. Like, I maybe a handful when I was working would see like a lot of people coming through with those ashes.
yeah, yeah, I figured
I
you
literally saw like maybe 4 people on a busy day, which is crazy.
yeah,
I mean,
cool,
I guess crazy good because people aren't gonna go.
because people got shit to do. They're gonna be sitting around and let you smear some ash on my
Yeah.
forehead and
And
not
you go, "I swear to God, I'm not eating I'm gonna be eating meat. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
mhm.
Fuck the filet of fish at McDonald's on Fridays. I'm not doing it regardless of the fact that it's at a good sell price."
Those days are over, you're better than that. Don't be cheap. I mean,
So yes, this
pray.
article is a little bit more serious. It says pastor suffers a multiple organ failure attempting Jesus
Yeah.
40-day fast. It's
Oh,
a
no.
pastor in Mozambique, southeastern Africa, who
Mozambique?
recently passed away after suffering digestive organ failure,
Jesus.
again doing the fast. And it's unclear why exactly 39-year-old Francisco Bajarda, I guess I
Let's
can't
just
say his
go with
name.
Frank.
I do apologize, Francisco, the founder of the Santa Trinidad Evangelical Church,
Mhm.
decided to imitate Christ's 40-day fast in the desert, as described in the Gospel of Matthew. But one thing is for sure, it was a fatal decision. 25 days into the grueling fast, no food, no water, Francisco had become so weak that he couldn't even stand, and let alone move around or perform any menial tasks. Still, he insisted on going on through with the biblical fast, and by the time his family and followers finally decided to take him to the hospital, it was too late. And so he died on the 38th day of his extreme fast. He had to suffer through those next couple of days of just like pain or
Pure pain? Yeah, I
yeah.
imagine.
I I it's organ. I was just like gonna check to see like yes, he had like digestive organ failure, which I imagine is very painful, possibly.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure acute anemia. That's like bleeding, right? Is that
Mhm.
internal bleeding?
I'd imagine so.
And it says the doctors tried rehydrating him with serums and getting him to consume liquid foods, but by this point, his digestive organs were too badly damaged, and the 39-year-old man passed away last Wednesday. And his followers said that it was common for Francisco to fast, but he had never done it for nearly as long as this last attempt. And it says, although experts consider the extreme fast the main factor that caused the pastor's organ failure, members of his family have been trying to pin the cause of death on pre existing health problems like low blood pressure. I yeah.
Mm,
That I don't know if he's gonna die to that extent with low blood pressure. It was just fasting. He wasn't getting anything inside of him, like
yeah, I mean, I so when you fast, I thought you were still allowed to have liquids. Isn't that
well,
no?
it depends on what kind of fast you're doing. Some people do like a no
Anything?
consumption of anything fast. Now, mind you, they might do it for a day or 2. Some people do it for a week, but that's even that is, like, outrageous. But
Mostly
most
because I
people will allow at least water.
yeah.
'Cause you can go without the food, but you still need fucking water.
Yeah, for you can go without food for a while, but, like, without water, you're fucked.
Yeah,
And even then, like, it'll only take you that far. Certainly not for 40 fucking days.
yeah,
Um, I so I've always found it amusing when people talk about fasting because it's a nice way to say, like, you're starving yourself,
mhm.
just not eating. It's like, say that. So why do you like, you make it sound nice and fancy? "Oh, I'm fasting for
Well,
whatever."
that's
Like, "Oh, cool, so you're not gonna eat anything. Cool, alright, gotcha. Let's
well,
have
that's
fun."
what they call, like, intermittent fasting. That's it's just
Mhm.
basically not eating or, quote, unquote, "starving yourself" for, like, a period
Right.
of time, and then you eat.
To
But,
break
allegedly, that is more so to get your, like, insulin levels aligned and stuff, so, like, you can actually lose fat, right?
my
I get
blood pressure chakras are unbalanced.
your blood
Quickly,
pressure levels.
quickly, I think I have, an imbalance of the humors.
Yes, I mean, it's unfortunate this happens again, and I'm pretty sure this is not the only one, this is just the one that's been reported.
Yeah,
Many
I'm
people
sure
going to these extremes because of,
there's fucking
biblical
people who've gone
stories where, like, they're trying to ascend or get to a higher spiritual level, with
yeah,
whatever.
I don't know, they're trying to prove a point to someone, and then
Well, they probably trying to prove a point to themselves. Now, I will say this though, uh, you're familiar with David Goggins to a certain
uh,
extent?
yeah,
He's a guy that, like, did, like, extreme things in his life. Like, he was, like, overweight, he lost, like 100 pounds in, like, 3 months, and then he went to the Navy SEALs, and he redid the Navy like, he
yeah,
put his body through a lot of shit, and primarily it was just for his own benefit, like, he wasn't trying to necessarily do anything
mhm,
or anyone else. He had to, like, constantly prove to himself that the body was able to endure, like, all this pain and all this, like, discomfort and all these, like, extremes, and to show that it can kinda, like, push through, which it can do. Like, I mean, depending on how I it's I guess your willpower as well, like, might have something to do with it.
yeah,
But to get to a point and there's a book that he had where he got to a point where he was, like, dehydrated too, like, doing, like, a 200-mile run,
mm,
right?
damn.
Now that's to the extent, like, where he could have died too because there was a point where he was, like,
Oh,
in
yeah, it doesn't
extreme
matter
pain.
how strong you are or how, like,
Yeah.
in shape, you have heat stroke, you're fucked, so,
But, like, he persevered through that, but the
yeah,
thing is, like, he could have died, and then where would he be then? Now this guy is trying to do this to prove whatever point he's doing for his congregation to kind of so he
mhm,
can seem more spiritually at
I
one
guess
with
it's a
Jesus Christ,
it's a
um,
way to
or with
attract
God
more.
in general. But, I mean, this is at to the detriment of his own life,
Yeah,
and there's a point in time where your beliefs might get you killed, and this is proof right here. Don't do
yeah,
anything, like,
yeah.
overtly stupid, right? It's unnecessary, right?
I mean, taking and interpreting, firstly, the Bible as a literal thing, for
Yeah.
starters, is already a red flag. Just I mean, just
I
even
mean, you could do the same thing by reading a Superman comic book and saying, "You know what? The sun's gonna give me the power to
yeah,
fucking fly," and then you jump
"I'm
off a
flipping
building, you're
away,
good.
aim for the bushes."
Yeah.
Mhm,
Is it the other guys?
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, to piggyback off this, why these wild beliefs that people still hold to this day, um,
Mhm.
we are gonna move on to
Our last,
our last,
topic,
article here.
a much revisited topic, apparently,
A much
very much so
revisited
in the
topic.
past few years again. Jesus.
Yeah, there's the resurgence coming through. This is more of a I would say more of a Western thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, for those of you, we do have
Well,
episode 5 and 6 of Valley Strange where we talk about satanic, the Satanic Panic, and we talked about one of the books that kind of started this whole thing.
it is
Not not
mostly a
not,
Western
not to
book,
say
yeah.
not to say that it was the only one. There's also books like Go Ask Alice or that have to do with kind of the same thing, which are a lot of nonsense books that perpetrate a belief that has to do with Satanism and its hold on children. And on February 20th, 2023, from the Dallas Observer, Texas, I figured we'd leave this episode off with a Texas related article. Not that it's here in Texas, but that it was written
Yeah.
in the state, somewhere in an office in the state of Texas. And it's an amusing article. It says this the month in Satan news, a breakdown of every music act causing the current satanic panic. And those
Oh,
of you who have recently seen the Super Bowl or was it the Grammys?
mhm.
I think it was the Grammys.
Yeah.
Notice that there's a few performances that have I hate that fucking toe
I
right there.
hate that toe so much. I just saw that, like, as soon as you're scrolling by, I look up and, oh,
Anyways, to
God.
move on, ignore the toe, people. If you're watching this on YouTube, just ignore the fucking toe. But if you're listening to this, you don't have to. You're just hearing us complain about the toe.
Yeah.
So
It's crooked.
we'll go through this article, and it's written with a lot of humor. Last month has been a busy one for the Dark Lord. His calendar app must take up a lot of memory with all the supposed appearances he's been making at the Grammys, on posters, and music fashion lines recently. And Satan has once again wormed his way into the music industry to get those precious young eyeballs helplessly gobbling up the sin. I can appreciate the way he's writing. This person's writing these sentences. Satanic Panic is in full on back in the music. I did it. Blah. The Satanic Panic is full on back in music because, well, panic is back in general thanks to 24-hour news networks and social media.
Yep.
If this sounds trite, it's because it's not a new take and never really went away. And Fear Cycle feels a lot like never-ending episode of Stranger Things. Now,
Yeah.
again, we mentioned the 80s.
Mhm.
Satanic Panic was a huge thing. There's the Tokyo
Galaga,
15, all these Judas Priest,
Knights in
Slayer,
Satan's service.
Night Kiss, yeah, Knights in
Uh-huh.
Satan's Service. What else? We can name Prince,
Oh, yeah.
Madonna, uh, Cyndi
Mhm.
Lauper, like all these people with songs that had to do with like corrupting the youth and not necessarily having to do with Satan itself, but like doing things sexually in nature that you shouldn't,
It's a
naughty
bad
things that can get you
influence.
closer to Satan,
No, you don't.
further away
Mm-mm.
from God. And so the Satan chatter has been so repetitive. It has been because nothing has changed since
Yeah.
what's it been like 40 years now, 30 years?
Yeah, if I'd say 40 at this
And
point.
the same shit is still happening.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? What's even funnier about this is that the same people who are probably like bitching about the old geezers complaining about Satanic Panic back in the day are the same motherfuckers complaining
Yep,
about
now.
it now about their kids,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Because they don't one, they don't like the music. Two, they don't understand what's going on in the culture, right? So they're afraid of change. So it can only be one thing, Satan.
The devil.
And
Woo!
there's a there's a tweet here. I have no that girl Lisa in NY says just got introduced to Sam Smith and Kim Petras through the Grammys, both beyond talented, such a badass song with a performance, and I've become if I ever do become a wrestler, this would be my entrance theme. And the song is Unholy. I'd never heard this song before. I'm not a fan of either of these artists,
Yeah.
but during the performance, Sam Smith is wearing like some kind of cheap ass looking devil kind of
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
costume and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna see if I can play this little clip. I'll fast forward it here, and it's red too. So like, ah, yeah, see the hat right there.
There it
Here
is.
it is. There's Satan. God damn it.
Right, in all of his top-hattedness in his dandy glory, Satan was a pretty boy.
Yeah. So like, I know Kim Petras is a transgender woman, I believe,
Okay.
and Sam Smith is like non-binary. person.
Alright.
So, not only to add insult to injury amongst certain folks who would complain about something like this, not only are they promoting or allegedly, or they're just like putting
They're
on a show that
promoting
has a
their
lot of
deviant
red in it.
lifestyle.
I mean, I remember there was a lot of bitching about Biden and Satanism, because he had
Oh
a red light behind him when he was giving a speech.
yeah,
Remember that? So, like,
gosh.
this is just drenched in red color, so that already is gonna set him off.
Uh,
2, knowing the fact that they are of, I guess, on the spectrum of, like, the LGBTQ community and stuff like that,
mhm.
that's just gonna add more, right? They're promoting their gender identity stuff where it's gonna just
It's
cause
gonna
an
corrupt
uproar,
the youth of America.
cause an uproar, right? Kids are gonna see this, they're gonna be like,
How
"First of
dare
all,
you?
I wanna bang Satan, and 2, I
I'm
want
Satan.
to
He's
be,
so cool.
I wanna be a, transgendered person," right?
I wanna be transgender, right hand man. I can be Satan's buddy too.
And, of course, I mean,
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh
No one ever.
and Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Oh, of course.
Ted Cruz, they all had something to say about it, you know?
Yeah, it's
And
probably
and again, red top with horns on it, what I mentioned earlier. I didn't really read this article until now, so, like, I kind of just guesstimating as the obvious what they're complaining about. Um,
yeah.
there's fire, uh, there's red light, you know, like some basic ass
Yeah, exactly, that's all they got. You know,
everybody shit.
flames, duh, flames mean devil, means hell. Red light too.
Yeah, and of course, we had Rihanna with a lot of red in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and no
Uh,
green, so that's obviously if it wasn't Christmas
you
or
go and
Valentine.
I'm gonna go as far as to say again, I didn't really read what they said necessarily, but, um, Rihanna's in red, right? And she's pregnant while she's performing, so she's
Oh,
doing a satanic Illuminati kind
yeah,
of sacrificial thing with Satan's baby that she has in her, you know?
someone said that, like, they complained that, like, they said she rubbed her where her labia was on her pants 5 times or some shit like that. Like, you fucking counted?
If they count it, I wanna know what the association is with, like, a
I had to
particular
change
count.
the channel for my kids, like, "What? Your kids were watching this?" Firstly, bullshit. This was boring. That fucking Super Bowl was boring as balls, and
And the
that
performance
halftime
wasn't
show,
good
yeah.
either. The
No,
performance was
it
very
wasn't. It
lame. It
was,
was
like,
lame.
amusing, but I was just like, "Oh, okay," and it's done. Like,
Yeah, that was it, like,
I call bullshit. Those kids, if this somebody was watching this with their family, they're probably making them watch it.
and to say that, Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime show, like, the complaint should be the fact that it was very tamed and
Yeah,
not worth
it was just
the ha
boring.
the halftime show spot. Do something else. There was a lot of speculation about who she was gonna bring out all these people to do it
Yeah,
with her, and it was just her doing
nothing
her
much.
thing. Again, totally fine,
Yeah,
but to
yeah.
complain about it is just, I mean, the
It was
only complaint worthy
forgettable.
is, yeah, the only complaint is that it was forgettable, right? It
Like,
was not
that's
memorable at all.
I remember when it ended because I went to go have dinner with, Daniel, and, we were in the other room, and I just hear, "Oh, it's over," you know, like, I got a text from my mom or some such, like, "Yeah, Chiefs won." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, I hadn't did not it was just like, "Whew, cool, okay, let me just open another beer." That was fun. Like, I don't know. It is funny to see, but you always when you're reading about it now, it's always some like crotchety old fart knockers that they sent in an angry letter to the studio or some shit.
Yeah,
You know, like it was like 3 pages long, handwritten. Uh,
a lot of
yeah,
misspelled words,
a lot of misspelled words, a lot of exclamation points, and
a lot of misuses of "there" and "your" and
mm,
"you."
all right, it's getting too much for me now. Okay.
All these grammatical errors, I can't take it anymore.
Mm, it's an error on my soul. Oh,
So
yes.
there, I just to pull some quotes here. It says, "At least with Rihanna's performance, you had to do some actual digging instead of just pointing at the nearest thing in horns and yelling Satan." This time,
Mhm.
former Dallas TV reporter turned Newsmax pundit Grant Stinchfield who once smashed a TV for a now defunct NRA TV network, was
W-
one of the louder voices yelling about Rihanna's performance. He linked it to Satan by pointing out that Rihanna was dressed in red. Talked about that already. While people dressed white like angels and fell
Oh,
from the sky, which he interpreted as a reenactment of Ezekiel 28:12 through 17 from the
gee,
Bible. When God
fucking
cast
God.
Lucifer down from the heavens
What?
until he learns about biblical art. All right.
Firstly, this person's last name is. I thought you said Stenchfield. I was like,
It's Stenchfield. No, that's Stenchfield. That'd be
Stenchfield.
too perfect, you know?
I know it would. I was like, that's made up name. There's no way.
And of
Uh,
course, the fact that she was pregnant and performing, like, the
yeah,
devil did
like
it.
I didn't even notice she was pregnant until like a few scenes in where she like leans forward. And I'm like, that looks. Oh, and they're like, okay. And I went right back to not giving a shit.
And going on with this article, they bring up Madonna, who should stop making music.
Are these guys like watching the Super Bowl with the Bible like sitting right next to them open on the table or
More
something?
than likely, I mean, that's usually
What?
how you read the Bible while
Like,
you're
ooh,
watching.
ooh, ooh, this scene right here is right out of Revelations. Like what?
I want someone to make a deliberate scene out of Revelation, like a beast with 7 heads and shit. Wonder
Oh,
if they would, like,
fucking
bat
hell.
an eye, you know?
That would be
So,
so
this article talks about Madonna and her Grammy speech, what I had no idea what that was about
I
until I came here, and Madonna being a person who's no stranger to, uh, ruffling some feathers
yeah.
in the religious, organizations. I mean,
Mhm.
she did do, like, a prayer with a quote, unquote, "Black Jesus" that people fucking freaked the fuck out about.
I
And she
mean,
kissed him, and she made out with him, so that was another fucking
ha
emotions.
people have been bitching about Madonna for like forever
When
too.
she
So
first came out, like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, when she did Like a Surgeon,
Yeah, that's what I was
Like
about
a
to say.
Surgeon.
Like a surgeon was probably out there, or like a surgeon, yeah. Like
Um,
a surgeon is one of my favorite Weird Al songs.
yes, it is. It's great. But see, back then, she had those, like, the religious imagery, and at some point or another in the like a prayer or whatever the fuck the song was called,
Yeah.
she, like, holds a knife and, like, it shows, like, stigmata on her fucking hands and shit. And then, of course, again, the black Jesus. I mean, I'm not too sure people were upset that he was a black Jesus or that she kissed a black man on TV.
Why not both?
Why not both? I think it's both
Yeah,
because
it probably is.
they're scared and they
They're
Jesus
like, "Oh my
is
god,
black, and
how
she's a
could
white
you?
woman. It's ridiculous.
White savior Jesus is only Jesus." Duh.
And, so she did a cover of Vanity Fair where she kinda looks like if you can see here,
Mhm.
I'm trying to just get it to as close as
Madonna.
possible. Very This is a replicating, like, a piece of art, though, isn't she? Like,
Yeah, she's trying to
"Yay, Madonna."
pass her off as a
Whoa. Yeah, no more of that.
yeah, no, that's enough.
So, in her speech, I'm trying to find here, it says, Madonna received posts for a cover Italian edition of Vanity Fair, which included an in-depth interview about her career and music, and asked about her relationship with religion. She said that it's important to have a it's
Duh.
important to have a ritualistic behavior and a spiritual life, and that a life with religion that doesn't prompt understanding, knowledge, curiosity, and inclusivity is not religion.
Oh.
Dare she? How dare she?
What is this woke bitch hollering about?
So, and of course, we had more Daily Wire people bitching about it. So another thing was Doja Cat's wardrobe. I didn't know
Mm,
anything about this.
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
So apparently, YouTuber turned pop star Doja Cat has been dodging satanic accusations for a long time, and her most recent run-in with the Red Menace came about a month ago during Paris Fashion Week when she showed up to some fashion line rollout studded from head to toe in red Swarovski. Swarovski. I can't crystals, some crystals.
Oh, Swarovski?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm terrible at pronouncing things.
yeah.
The outrage started when people on Twitter realized that the entire line was inspired by Dante's Inferno, a story about a one man's journey through heaven and hell, which actually isn't actually connected to any religious text or canon. It's like claiming Spider-Man fan fiction is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's actually pretty good.
Mhm.
Oh god, the toe made a comeback.
I don't wanna look up.
All right, I'll read this part so you don't have to see the toe, and
I
I'm gonna
was,
I'm gonna try and hide the toe from the
yeah,
viewers.
you can, like, censor it out or just put a big block. It's alright, guys, we'll spare you. I mean,
And
like, mine has a straight up cross section of a prostate, so
yeah. So we
that's
also have Demi Lovato's albums and advertisements. Says Lovato's new album, Holy, it's Holy Fuck, but it's FV.
Favuk. Favuk
Holy Fuck.
Favuk. Oh, it's so
Holy
clever.
Fuck.
Uh,
Featured the singer in some light bondage, wearing light bondage wear lying on a cross, and the UK decided to ban the album's cover and any posters advertising because it's likely to cause serious and widespread offense. And the ad was irresponsibly placed where children could see it, according to the UK's Advertising Standards Authority.
mm.
Uh, I want to see this poster or
Children cannot be exposed to advertisements. That would be wrong. We
that
cannot
would be wrong.
we can't be grooming them
Yeah,
for this product.
that's unethical.
No.
But that is pretty much what's going on in the news today. Hopefully, I can gather some more news and
Yeah.
bring another episode of Valley Strange to you, along with other episodes that we're working on in the background. Books of the Strange,
Mhm.
some other topics coming up that are more in depth. We won't drown out your ears too long. We'll try to keep it around an hour, not to bore the listener,
Yeah,
and also to save my editing
us.
time
Yeah,
because
there it is. That's
3
the
hours is a long time for me, and it's kinda like, "Hey, how do
yeah.
you keep it down," you know?
Those days are over.
Those days are over. Yeah, right, the next one's gonna be, like, 4 hours longer, like, "God damn it." Anyway, um, what do you think of, the news going on this past week, Roland?
Uh, I mean, like, again, I thought it was kind of interesting, talking about, how they've been shooting down all of these weather balloons lately.
Well, at least 1 weather balloon for sure, and then
Yeah,
unidentified objects that, you know, who
it's
knows?
fun to see it mostly, in the news just because it's just like a nice little distraction, if anything, from what's really happening, which we'll
Exactly.
probably never know.
Or we will, depending. See, that's why we come into play, Roland.
Oh, yeah.
People in those independent spaces who have no money whatsoever and no one really backing them or telling them
No,
what to
we got
do.
nothing to lose. We've got no lobbyists or anything.
We've
Nobody
got
gives
nothing to
a about
lose,
us.
really. Like, we can come out and just divulge this information and probably never hear a word of backlash because, I mean, we're not big enough in any way
We're
to
canceled.
cause a ruckus, you know?
Canceled.
We wanna bring the ruckus, but we don't really start the ruckus. Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with. I did it. I did it. I see how I worked that in. That wasn't even planned. That was just off the top of my fucking head, man.
Oh, boy. It's the
Yeah.
good stuff.
Any last thoughts, Roland, before we sign off?
No, I mean, this is just so fun. It's like our other. Hopefully, we get more news like this to share with others. Just fun little things. Some not so fun. Others just same old tired shit again. So hey,
Mhm, yeah, yeah.
here's us giving you this little update. If you guys
And
have anything that you see it's interesting, tell us.
yeah, you can send it our way. You can follow us at all the social medias on Facebook. You can drop links to any articles that we want us to check
Yeah.
out, or Instagram. You can DM us stuff at Valley Strange.
Mm-hmm.
We're also on TikTok. You can drop us a message there, or send us a TikTok. Maybe we should react to.
Yeah.
And we are also on Twitter at MoQuest Studios, the only one that is different from the rest because it encompasses the entire network as it is.
Mm-hmm. The whole
But yeah,
shebang, baby.
and again, all the links to these articles are going to be in the description below, so you can take a look at them yourself. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you can like and subscribe, share with your friends and family. If you're on the audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that other stuff, give us a rating. 5 stars would be great, and share it with people. Uh, that would be helpful to us. And just to give some more exposure so we can get more audience, have more time to do this, all that kind of stuff. So, and don't be afraid to comment on anything that we've done here.
Yeah, we're nice to everybody.
Positive or negative, doesn't matter. Well,
Yeah, even if you want to talk trash, we're still polite because it's
we are polite.
because it is hilarious. Thanks,
Yeah,
though.
it's fun. It's fun though. We do appreciate the comment no matter what it is. And like I said, like and comment, turn on notifications, and we will see you next time.
Little midgets come into my house. Hey, it's ridiculous. The guy who had some kind of a rectal probe. Ridiculous.